What is up, everybody? Welcome to Jesse's Spec YouTube video. This week we're gonna go work on the Lotus that you see behind here. I have another race coming up, so I want to install coilovers today. So let's do that and let's get right into it. Join me. Okay, so today we're going to be going with some BC-Racing Coilovers. I know many of you Lotus guys are more going for Öhlins, or there's the other brand, the British brand Nitron, that is really popular as well. But honestly, I want to give these BC-Racing Coilovers a try and let's see how good they are, and I will also be reviewing them. So you guys who are running Lotuses and who want to give this a try, I will try to give you a really honest and precise rundown on how they are. So anyway, let's unbox them to begin with. So these are the BC-Racing BR type RN type, and they roughly cost £1,000 in Europe, and in Switzerland they're 1490 Swiss francs. So they are pretty good, but still pretty cheap, so they might be a good alternative for people who have a little bit smaller budgets. So let's see what's in the box. User manual and certificate. Probably there will be some interesting information regarding the Lotus itself, so let's give that a try. Let's see what's included in the box here. So here you can see those are rear coilovers with the bushings and everything included. Let me give you a little bit of better look at those. As you can see, we have a nice little adjuster right here. Very nice kit. This is probably a front one. Take a look at that one as well. Also with an adjuster right here. It's probably going to be a big step up compared to the stock ones, even though those are already Bilsteins. Adjuster wrenches as well included. Here we have another one. This is a front one again. Here we have the last rear one. Okay, so let's get started. So as you can see, the suspension comes from the factory with Bilstein. So you have a top screw holding it, and you have a lower one at the bottom of the suspension bracket holding the screw, as you can see here. So all we need to do is remove both these bolts, and we'll be able to remove the stock dampers and springs all in one go. So let's go do this with the impact wrench. And these screws do turn, so you do need to use another socket on the other side just to hold, to make sure it comes loose.
And let's do the same thing at the top. There's a little bit less space, so you cannot use an impact ratchet, but in any case, with 2 spanners you can do it really easily. I like to use these spanners that have sort of a wrench built into it, as you just saw before, and this will allow you really to remove the suspension very easily. And as you can see here, within 10 minutes or so, the suspension is already, 5 to 10 minutes, the suspension is already out of the car. Bilstein from the factory. Let's get rid of that and put the new one. Here you see how they compare, and you see that the BC Racing come with 2 extra washers that you have to put at the top. So let's install the suspension. So let's go in for the front coilover. I like to put the top in first, put the washers in as well in the top, one on each side of the bush. You can here see the second one. And from there we go and we just install those. You have to wiggle them in place, and then after we'll be able to put in the screw. As you just saw, I gently tapped it in with a plastic mallet, and now I'm tightening it to make sure everything holds into place. Everything is tight now, so now we need to put in the lower bush and bracket into the lower suspension arm. I like using a screwdriver to put the axle nice and straight, then gently tapping it in without destroying, of course, all the threads. And then you can tighten it with the impact wrench. There's actually enough space, but always make sure to check if you've tightened it enough, or to torque specs basically. And that's what I have been doing here. So you can see here there's a little adjuster at the top of the suspension. I like to put it all on soft. So when I start with the softest setup, and I go from there and make it stiffer and stiffer. So now let's attack the rear. And as you can see, it's also Bilstein in the back. An inverse design, by the way, as well. And it's the same principle. So 1 screw at the top and 1 screw at the bottom. I even think it's even easier to remove on the back because there's more space, and there are no suspension components such as the steering rack and all the brackets in the way. So here it's really straightforward. Removing the screws and then installing the new one will be really a piece of cake. Okay, the top is loose. Now same thing on the bottom, just removing 1 screw. Really, this has to be like the easiest car to install coilovers I've ever seen, to be honest, compared to other cars. So here you see the old one's already out. This is what it looks like when everything's out of the way and taken out. And now all we need to do is compare the old and the new one. You can see here there's a difference between both of them, especially that one is adjustable in height and in stiffness, which is the BC Racing one. So let's install this one, the new one, and see how it goes. So same as in front, install the top screw first, very easy. There aren't even any shims to do it, so that makes it even easier. And once that is done, then we can move on to the bottom. Sometimes you need to wiggle the whole suspension into place, the axle, so you can actually fit in the screw that needs some fiddling from time to time. But with the help with the screwdriver and a plastic mallet, you can always get things done. Sounds funny, but it is pretty true in this case. And all I need to do now is put the washer and the other nut on, and then we'll be able to tighten everything to spec. And again, I like using this kind of spanner that has a ratchet built into it. That really saves you a lot of time because there isn't that much space. So let's check all the torque settings, making sure that everything is tightened to spec. And there we go, we're coming to an end here, and I put it on soft, and here is what it looks like once it's installed in the back. And so we finished installing the coilovers.
All right, we're back in the office. So as you can see, installing coilovers is really easy. By the way, I should mention as well that we have to do exactly what we did on one side. Spiky, dog running by again. So we have to do exactly what we did on one side, we have to do it on the other side, which means that it's basically twice the time that it took me to do it. I'd say roughly in maybe 1 hour it should be done. It isn't much of a difficulty, to be honest. Surprisingly, the stock standard setting that you get out of the box is actually really good, and you actually get a almost nearly perfect 20 mil lowering compared to stock, which gave me something really close to the ideal ride height I wanted. To be honest, I didn't even change it, and I got the car road legal to that ride height because it's still a street car more than a real race car. So it really allows me to keep a lowered ride height with a lowered center of gravity, still being very useful for daily driving. And I'm going to be reviewing how this suspension actually feels. I know many Lotus guys love nitron, they would never put anything else on it. And this video is a little bit to show you just how it's easy to install. I put everything, by the way, on super soft to begin with, since it's a street car, and I'm gonna see how it feels, and I'll be making a review on the street and in race conditions to see how this suspension feels. So I hope this video was useful. It could show you that you can actually install coilovers on your Lotus very easily by yourself at home in your home garage. I hope this inspires you to try this, and if you're interested in BC Racing Coilovers, feel free to see the link in the description where you can find them. We sell them actually with my business, including Swiss homologation, so you can actually use it legally for street usage in Switzerland. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was useful. Feel free to comment, share the video, or even just putting a little like on this video always helps for the algorithm. And if it was useful for you, I'm happy to hear it in the comments if it is the case.
And if not, you can also tell me in the comments. Be nice though.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching. There will be some more MR2 content coming very soon for all you guys that are waiting for it. And I'll be racing the Lotus in 2 weeks again. So make sure to subscribe, and like that you won't miss my next coming race footage videos. And without further ado, I will close this video and I will see you in the next one. Peace.